Porter, how you doing?
Oh, I know.
She's on the wrong. She was the wrong. They came back. I didn't make it that far up.
We don't have any more chairs. They're still in the meeting, and that's what we normally borrow the chairs from. So
Still doing this for chairs.
For now, because that's all we have. We don't have any more chairs.
Didn't have to wear a patch.
How are you?
Sorry, bro. Keep on.
Be careful, breathe.
How you doing, Matthew?
Good morning. How are you?
I heard about your school all week. What didn't I do?
I was on jury duty, and all of the prosecution witnesses knew each other from having gone to Alcorn. And so every prosecution, nothing of it.
Oh, good.
The defendant did claim that all conspired against him. But that's not what he said. But it was interesting. Everyone who got up said, "How do you know this person?" "Oh, we went to school together at Alcorn."
That's as bad as
They are finished our meeting.
this lady got up.
Good. How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
And here's some pictures of
Hi, Valerie.
The small as the building is.
You again?
Tony.
You again?
It's also done.
Oh, that was an interesting day.
How you doing?
You think?
Why do you go back? You need to go back.
You're sitting there wondering what the heck did I walk into. You're about to go, you just walk in there and all of a sudden, you know, Wrestling Federation breaks it.
How you doing? Good to see you. I got it.
Let's go back and watch the video. Interesting. You were just sitting there.
I
blocked your camera. I thought you were British for a second. I mean, you just had that stiff upper lip perfect.
He got to take this for us. Thank you very much. That's what he is. No, he is my age. He knows everything.
He knows everything there is. He'll tell you what he does.
John?
Yeah, that was our job yesterday. They must have bought 2 million of these things. Bank plus.
Plus the the Gregors.
Matt, how you doing, sir? How are you, young lady?
Right, we were just talking about, I'll give you these recognitions. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we think you should get there. No, good catch. Yes.
Yeah. Finale gonna be this? I'm good.
Was he guilty?
I don't know. I'm an alternate, so I left. They said, you can sit around the courtroom and listen and wait until the jury comes back. I said, Judge, can I leave? He said, yes, thank you, Judge. I was gone. Somebody's supposed to send me an email, and I haven't gotten one yet, so I don't know if that means they didn't reach a decision last night.
I got answered.
I may well
Half hour
find
to
a way.
realize after I hung up the phone, I don't know what I said.
I had a call last night, and they said, let me call you back later. I said, well, don't wait too late. If you don't talk to me, you talk to Jack Daniels.
Somebody has to give him the right to
That was just a meeting going on.
I said all day.
Doing fine.
Yeah.
Joseph A. Banks is getting a lot of business from me the last 2 days. I plan on going back Wednesday.
What are you doing now, Mom and Dad?
I could be a commercial.
Okay. That's a nice little convention center. Somebody asked me if I grew up. Somebody asked me if I grew up in Memphis. I said, no, I was raised in Memphis. I never did grow up.
Let me say good morning to everybody, and we appreciate everybody being here for the special call meeting of Jackson Redevelopment Authority on this December the 16th. And we do have a quorum present. And so once again, we're appreciative of everybody who is present today. All right. Jason, we've got some issues related to the Porter building.
Yes, sir. Contractor has presented us with a change order, and A Architects has come to present the issues related to our Porter building. So Preston McKay is going to make a few statements. I do have some pictures that I printed out, and we'll just pass those around to each of these.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Will we have the ability to control the air conditioning and the heat in the conference room?
I'm certain we will. We're going to get all new.
It was a sweat box yesterday.
All new equipment over next door when we get it.
Did everybody get a letter?
Yes, everybody's gotten a letter. You'll review those letters.
Work on that distress flood,
During the course of demolition, we've come to uncover some of the issues that were unforeseen before we started the construction document process and the design process. If you look on the letter, we've got a list of the items that are of importance. The first one there is the unreinforced masonry walls. These are the walls that actually support the floors and the roof. If you'll look at the pictures, you can see the condition of them. The majority of the mortar and the bricks is degraded and gone. The walls are somewhat unstable. They'll probably continue to hold the building, but for how long, we can't really say. So our suggestion is to come in and frame up some new load-bearing walls to carry the floor and the roof loads. And they've provided us with a pricing on that. The lower portion, the two-story roof structure, you have some pictures of that. The water damage to it has put it in a state where it needs to be replaced. This wasn't seen when before we started construction and demolition.
And Preston, just to clarify, we were going to replace the roof. What you're saying is the
structure of the roof.
structure of the roof, the whole thing is.
Well, the 3-story portion,
Yeah.
that roof's fine.
Just
It's just the 2-story back portion.
2-story. We got
All that wood and everything has gotten wet over the years, and it's just to the point where if you look at it, you can visually see the roof sagging, so it needs to be replaced. On the second floor portion, there's a hole in the floor from where water's been leaking in, and the joists in that area have gotten wet, so we need to replace those joists. There's an area where the roof beam for that second portion sits over a window opening, and that window opening has no structure above it, so you can see a crack. When there's a picture of that, you can see a crack in the window opening is starting to bow, so we're going to correct that issue. The third floor, once we removed all the flooring and asbestos-containing materials, we're down to just 1x6 planks in order to provide a proper subfloor for the flooring that's going in there. We're going to have to correct that issue also. The first and second floors already have the subflooring there. It's just the third floor never did. And then we've got a ramp extension due to some of the changes. Short site investigation, the ramp has to be extended by about 6 feet in order to meet compliance. And then item 7 there is window flashing. A lot of the water that's getting in is getting into the windows because none of the seals have positive slope for drainage. The water drains back towards the window. So that will correct that issue. And then item 8, once again with the walls, as you can see, a lot of them are degraded. So in order to provide something so we can put the finishes on and properly finish the walls, we're putting forward a pricing to fur the walls out and give us a proper substrate to put the finishes up. The rest of the items, item 9, 10, and 11, are somewhat more cosmetic issues. We can work around them. The fur downs at the windows will just sort of correct the sight line issue and aesthetic issue from the outside by blocking off a portion of the window that's actually going to be above the ceilings. Item 10, the exterior shutters. The condition they're in now, we were just going to pull them off and not replace them. We've been requested to provide a price to replace the shutters. Once again, that's an aesthetic issue. So that, if we go with that or not, that's up to y'all. And then item 11, first floor toilet renovations. The city, in the plan review process, has requested that we expand the number of facilities on the first floor. Where we are now is up to code. It's by the book. Nothing's wrong with it. It's just the city with their plans to occupy that, and they feel with the amount of public that's going to come in, they kind of requested that we add a few more toilets.
That's a question. I noticed that in your summary, you took only 1 through 8 first.
Yes.
And then you went down. So I'm assuming that you're trying to get around to make sure that you stay within the 10%.
Contingency.
No, don't you have, you cannot amend the contract for more than, isn't there a figure that you can't go up?
Yes, sir. That is the case with some change orders, but we actually have in place a 10% contingency fund. It's stated in the letter there. We have.
Okay, I understand. So you're taking, I see you reducing it and bringing it.
Yes. Okay. That money is already in place in the contract. Well, the way we broke it down were the items that just have to be done.
So in other words, next time you come back, you'll only have $34,476. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's the contingency balance that we have left if items 1 through 8 are taken.
But you're asking for 1 through 11, right?
No, I think it's just giving us some options.
Yeah.
I would recommend you do 1 through 8 at this time.
Like I said, 9, 10, and 11 are more aesthetic or cosmetic issues. They're not,
But if the city's going to do if they're going to be there, I don't think it would be advantageous to us to come back next year to start adding toilets.
Yeah, while they in the business of doing the demo and all that for the additional toilets, it's like they do the whole thing.
So if we exceed the contingency, we just need to cover that cost. I guess.
Yes, sir. If we go above the contingency that's in place, then we're actually into an actual change order process where we're adding money to the contract. Right now, if we're under contingency, we're not adding any money to the contract. That's what the items 1 through 8 were the reason that we had the contingency in there, because we knew once we started pulling items out of the building, we were going to find some of these things.
Okay, 9, is that cosmetic?
Yes, sir. That's that. I mean, if you won't notice it from the inside. If you stand on the outside, the top pane of glass, you'll see above the ceiling. But we have other ways to correct that. We can look at it instead of doing what's proposed here.
So we can say that you're saying we can say that $4,000.
Yes, sir.
Or are you going to do it in a way that gives the building the appearance that it's a nice looking building, as we're adding buildings downtown? We want to, there is something to be said for them, the way that they look from the exterior as well.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, you won't ever really notice it. I mean, if you're just walking by, if you were standing there and try to figure it out, you would see it. But it'll just be, you'll have the light, part of the window will be lit from the lights on the interior of the building, and the top portion of the window will just be black because it's going to be above the ceiling. So you can actually see.
How far are you into the demolition when you basically kind of discovered things that,
Will there be any more discoveries?
Right, are we to the bottom? Are we at the bottom of the discovery yet?
Yes.
We are at the bottom of the discovery. The only other discovery we have or issue that we have is along the north and south walls. We have some water coming in from the bottom of the wall, and we have to take a corrective measure on that.
And is that $34,000 corrective measures?
It shouldn't be $34,000 corrective measure.
But if we did 1 through 8 plus 11, 23, correct?
Yes, sir.
We still would be within our contingency.
Well, these.
Before this election, then come back and later on and tell us if the aesthetics and anything else.
If we did the 1 through 8 and then added the 11, that would be inside the contingency as far as the work that needs to be done. But with adding this work to the project, we're extending the project time, and therefore the contractor would be due extended general conditions. There's a paragraph in there that kind of covers what that cost is.
It'll be more on top of the contingency amount.
So we would be into a point where we would be adding money to the contract in order to cover the extended period of time.
How much additional time do you suspect will be tapped on here?
If we take everything 1 through 11, it's 2 months. If we don't take everything, I'll have to go back to the contractor and discuss with them what the time.
And 2 months more work time is, in extending it, is how many dollars would you guess?
$47,885. 1 month of general conditions is $23,942.
So the contingency, you're going to use up almost all of it if you go 1 through 8 plus 11?
Yes, sir.
And so you're saying we're going to need another $50,000, right?
Basically, yes, sir.
You also feel that's yet another potential discovery. So are you going to be able to take care of all that within an additional 50?
If we take 1 through 8 and still have the 34 left, possibly. Like I said, the last quote that I had from the contractor was for a 2 months time extension, and that was taking all the items. If we don't take all the items, I don't know what kind of time extension he's going to ask for. So the remainder that's left, I don't know what's going to be absorbed by his general conditions.
I was informed that, of course, originally we had budgeted a little bit more than what the contract said, in terms of this, and so we're still under that amount of money. I suggest if it's there, we got to fix what really needs to be fixed.
Last, I agree with you, but is the city requesting this from a code standpoint or because they're going to occupy the standpoint? Seriously.
He said it was already within code.
Yeah.
So this is a luxury to the city who's going to occupy it, and so it's kind of a leasehold improvement that they should pay.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I think what was brought to us was that because they thought there would be a numerous amount of visitors that we should at least have urinals and maybe another restroom.
So can we ask?
Well, yeah, I mean, we can absolutely go back to the city and ask them to
So
reconsider.
we would happily do this for you, but you can pay for it.
May I note that the city is paying the bonds that are financing all of this. So
don't bug me.
If we pay these funds, it will be paid indirectly by the city anyway.
Whatever you want to do.
It's my feeling, as far as not paying us on time, shows that if we're doing it,
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Give me a motion.
I make a motion. Go ahead.
For all 11?
Yeah.
Have a second?
Second.
We move the second that we would, once we approve all 11 items of change orders that are here.
And there's a determination y'all make in connection with this, and these are things that came up after the contract was executed that were discovered subsequently, and it's in the public interest to move forward with the change order.
Okay.
Exactly.
You know what you said, Brian? He said, oh, that's what Greg said. I just second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, nay. So moved. All right, we're down to the Finance Committee report. Brian.
Yesterday we met briefly to evaluate. It was our task by the chair to look at and evaluate the fee structure within the proposed bond issue for the hotel, convention center hotel. And we looked at it, and really Mr. Unger from the city did a great job. They have more experience at this than we do, and he was great at evaluating. And we concluded that he gave us a schedule of like size issue and proportionate factor of what a fee should be on such a size of the municipal issuance. And then he put in a complexity factor of 15%, which I thought was entirely fair. The other one he looked at was a general purpose. It was a general use water and sewer restructuring project. So our recommendation was to use his fee structure or the asking price, which was proposed, whichever was lesser of each of those. There were two items on there that need a little bit more due diligence on our part and the city's part. We just don't know. We just don't know what that fee should be, and we determined that those two items should be negotiated with the city and ourselves and the particular parties individually. Those being the hospitality management fee and the deal management fee. That was our recommendation. I'm missing it.
You got it?
You called 3.
Sorry.
You said 3. You meant hospitality.
Hospitality and deal management. 2.
Okay.
Yeah, those 2. You all should have a copy of it.
Fees for the
Right. That's our recommendation, and I guess I make that in the form of a motion.
And I'll second.
You got a motion and a second from the Finance Committee in terms of the CFPs. Any questions? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right. We are down to the Projects Committee. Matt.
You're so generous. The Projects Committee, unlike the Finance Committee, had a very extended, long be here. And in order to tell you what we thought.
You don't get it.
Tony, would you?
On yesterday, there were two proposals that were brought forward by the two respondents to the RFP. They are here as well, and in light of the fact that the committee did not make a particular decision, we thought it was probably important for the board to hear from two entities and consider what they want to share.
All right, so we're going to give time to both developers to make a presentation to the authority. We've got Journeyman Austin, and we've got Transcontinental. Just simply in terms of alphabetical order, we'll start with Journeyman first.
Chairman, if I may, note for the record that Watkins Jones Walker, although it does not represent any proposer and has not been involved in preparation of proposals, there is one party mentioned in one of the proposals that we do represent, AST something. We don't represent them in connection with any of this transaction, but we, ATF, whatever. I'm real familiar with representing them, obviously. I don't know the right name. I did want to make sure the board was aware of that. I do not know exactly what their role is in the transaction. I just saw a page or two from the proposal and saw that they were mentioned.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy to be here today. From Jackson. Wish you could send a little less rain back our way because we're really needed back in Austin, Texas. We're represented here today by Don Hewitt with the Advanced Building Systems and Urban Associates. AT is a development partner of our team. Our team also consists of CMMI architects, and they will also involve local architectural firm Dean & Dean. Hotel operator we proposed is Pacific Pearl Hotels out of San Diego, California, but they own and operate 22 hotels around the country. They also have a management company that operates other hotels. Local contractors, White Construction, will be part of our team, and I think that covers everybody.
Well, Robert, just for the record, you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Robert Gallup with Journeyman Austin Holdings. We are the master developer respondent, to the request for proposal. The hotel we propose is in compliance with what that request in the RP, which was 300 keys with appropriate levels of meeting space. We propose three options be considered. The RP states that the land purchase sale agreement was not definite, and that could make all this effort go away. So we thought it was appropriate to consider three sites. One site would be the site that fronts, which is our option one, that fronts Fair Street, immediately across the street from the convention center. The second option would use the Firestone site and the parking lot to the south. But there is also an option with that option 2 site to actually extend it to the corner parcel on the east, which is reflected in our little diagram that shows that particular option. And then the third option would be an adaptive reuse of the south tower of City Center, formerly known as Security Center, where we would gut the building. The building structure would stay. We would do an addition, 4 additions to get up to 32 keys per level to deliver the 300 key program. So we think all options are similar economics. The one advantage to option 3 is it would be available to open sooner because the structure is already there to work with, the majority of it.
That's the one now that's owned by
Parkway.
And occupied.
Yes. If you haven't had a great opportunity to review our proposal, this is our mainstay business, is delivering convention center hotels. At this for approximately 12 years. Majority of the hotels we delivered were publicly owned, starting at the Austin Hilton Airport Hotel, That's approximately 350 keys. Next toe-to-tail line was Austin Hilton downtown, which is 800 keys. Went to Omaha, Nebraska, 450 keys. Vancouver, Washington is 225 keys.